Hello, everybody. It's a great day for me, and I hope everyone's having a nice day. Today, I'm going to be spending about 20 minutes talking about the Chia blockchain. And I personally signed up for this because I have seen something in the Chia blockchain that not everybody sees. Mostly the Chia folks see it, but I don't think the rest of the world see it. And I think this presentation is going to help, for people who don't know what the Chia blockchain is. So let's get into it. So the title of my presentation is The Green Revolution. This presentation dives into the Chia blockchain, the green energy efficient network building the foundation for tomorrow's financial world. Discover how innovators like Bram and Hoffman are bringing real world assets on chain, how permuto capital is changing asset ownership, and how the Tang gang is adding creativity and culture and lore and zesty vibes to the revolution. Presented by yours truly, Jeebz Inc. You can follow me on Twitter at @boyjeebz. I'm a Tang Gang member and also a creative. I'm also an NFT creator. So let's get into it. So here's the big shift. Now, every few years, a blockchain quietly changes the world, right? Bitcoin gave us digital gold. Ethereum gave us smart contract. Now, Chia is revolutionizing the whole game, the whole crypto game as we know it. And it is doing that because of two big major ideas, two big major reasons which cannot be neglected by the crypto world. And personally, I believe that there's going to be millions of people who are onboarding crypto simply because of the fact that it is bringing, it is solving the problems of environmental, pollution. It is solving the problem of utility. It is solving the problem of energy efficiency. And to top it all off, it is also solving the problem of digital ownership, right? It is actually bringing real world assets on chain. So let's get into it, right? So basically, what is Chia? The Chia network was created by Bram. He was the founder of BitTorrent, one of the most reliable data transfer mediums in the world today. Chia, unlike any other blockchain in the world, uses the mechanism of proof of space and time. It makes use of eco-friendly, efficient, and secure farming with unused storage instead of energy-hungry mining, right? So Chia is a next-generation blockchain designed to be fast, secure, and green. It was created by Bram, the same guy who invented BitTorrent, one of the most efficient file-sharing systems ever made. The idea behind Chia is to build a blockchain that doesn't waste massive amounts of electricity like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Instead, it uses something else. What does it use? It uses hard drives. It uses storage space. So you can see here, this is an illustration, just trying to highlight to you what Chia really is. So native crypto and traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum consume a lot of energy. It is estimated that the total energy used in Bitcoin is capable and is enough to power a whole country, a whole small country, baby. Not everybody has a lot of that. Not everyone has a lot of power. Not everyone has a lot of resources to get into Bitcoin because it is super expensive, So Chia solves that by bringing a more user-friendly, a more energy-efficient, a more simple way to onboard the network, which is actually, when you think of it, everything evolves over time, right? Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is the first blockchain, but that doesn't mean Bitcoin is perfect. That just means that Bitcoin is actually revolutionary in its own way, but it can be improved because there are so many cases of Bitcoin, being just, a kind of like the rich get richer scheme because, not a lot of people have the resources to get into it, which is what Chia solves, right? Which is what Chia solves. So Chia runs on something called the proof of space and time, okay? So here's how it works. Instead of racing with power-hungry computers, the Chia network lets you use your spare storage space. As you can see in the diagram, you store what's called plots, encrypted data on your drives, okay? So the more plots you assign to Chia, the more rewards you can get, in the network. And we're gonna get to that in a moment, right? So that's the proof of space. So instead of using a lot of GPUs and a lot of computational power to solve complex algorithms, which in turn gives you other traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Chia uses the proof of space and time, which is basically your hard drives on the computer. And I've seen cases where people talk about the fact that ever since the Chia blockchain came into existence, there has been a surge in the demand for hard drives. But I'm like, okay, there's a surge for demand of hard drives, but before it, there was a surge in demand of GPUs, which is way super expensive to get than hard drives. Literally, you can buy 10 hard drives with just the money of one single GPU, right? So I think it solves the problem of people being able to onboard it and people being able to utilize it. So that's the proof of space and time, right? So when it comes to the proof of time, right? So I just finished explaining the proof of space, right? So that's it right here. The proof of space and time. The proof of time, right? Let me explain that. So the network randomly picks winners from these plots, and those who win get rewarded in Chia coins. To the proof of time part, the proof of time mechanism ensures everything happens fairly and consistently in the network, right? So the coins are rewarded randomly. Okay, so the proof of space and time actually gives way and gives possibility for a free and fair blockchain to reward each and every person utilizing it. So this diagram is going to show you the main difference between Chia and other native or other traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, right? So I want you to just view or to just try to grab or just try to take a grasp of this illustration right here. um so mining Bitcoin is actually like digging a big hole, right? Digging and digging and digging and digging a big hole in one place, which is like traditional mining, right? Which requires a lot of power, a lot of machinery, a lot of energy, which in turn pollutes the environment, wastes a lot of money, right? What about Chia? Chia actually solves that problem. So instead of digging a big hole, you have a field, a large field, and you plant those seeds. And so instead of digging a hole, so instead of digging a big hole for mining, you plant seeds in a large area of land, right? So the area of land is like is what we is what you refer to as your hard drives. Okay, so that's the Chia blockchain. So instead of digging a big hole and digging and digging and digging, you have a large space on your computer where you can plant chia seeds. I'm talking in metaphor, okay? Where you can plant chia seeds and allow them to sprout over a piece of time, all right? So the bigger your land, the larger output you can get, okay? So the bigger your hard drive space allocated to farming chia or mining chia, the higher your rewards get. This is one of the reasons why Chia is different. There are so many reasons why the Chia blockchain is different when it comes to transaction fees, eco-friendliness, reducing the environmental hazards, reducing pollution. This is one of the major differences between the Chia blockchain and the native cryptocurrencies. Okay. So instead of using GPUs and heavy computational power to solve complex algorithms like the native traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which uses the proof of work and the proof of stake mechanisms, the Chia blockchain utilizes the proof of space and time. Okay, so you can imagine Chia is like, yo, hey, this is a blockchain that is saying, okay, Bitcoin came, right? Bitcoin is giving us a way to transact, okay, from peer to peer without any intermediaries. But then it costs a lot to get into. It costs a lot to be mined. It requires a lot of energy. It requires a lot of power to be mined. And the Chia blockchain is basically like, hey, is basically like a person saying, hey, this is the environmental impacts of traditional cryptocurrencies. We have created a more user-friendly interface, a more user-friendly network for people to onboard, for them to utilize it. Okay, so naturally, people are gonna just use a blockchain that works for them, a blockchain that doesn't require a lot of money, a blockchain that doesn't really require a lot of resources to get into. Okay, at the same time, it saves a lot of money. Okay, it saves a lot of money. So instead of using GPUs, the Chia blockchain does not use GPUs. It uses free storage space, which